everybody, and welcome to another ActionFeatures.net Comics Weekend Review. Man, we are kicking these live on the weekends.
No, well,
you know?
well,
that was birthday, so that's exception. But we still got one up.
Oh yeah, we did.
You know what I mean? Like we're still getting them up every weekend. That's the important thing. All right, so these are releases from. What's the day? The 22nd, 21st.
Jack's birthday is tomorrow, which is the 22nd.
That's the 22nd. So today is the 21st. So that would be the 20th. Was yesterday the 19th, 18th, 17th? July 17th? Does that make sense? Last one was July 10th. Yeah, so these are the releases that we picked up from July 17th, 2013. We're going to jump right in. Alright, so this is one that we both read. Batman 66. We were looking so forward to this comic. This is the new DC title that takes place within the Adam West, Burt Ward 60s Batman television series. It's done in the style of that, the writing style of that, the kind of art look, or the look of that series. Right. These are reprints of books that are going digital first, I believe, just like the Legends of the Dark Knight series and the Adventures of Superman series. These are digital comics first and then printed as a book. And these books are $3.99 each, but they're a little thicker than your standard book.
Right.
In this issue, it takes place with the Riddler with a scheme to steal art and leaving clues. Batman and Robin have to try and stop him. Follow as clues lead. Another villain shows up, who I'm not going to ruin, because that's later on in the book. If you flip through the first few pages, you know it's Riddler. But the second villain, I don't want to say who it is. But they end up having to team up with this villain to go after the Riddler.
And I like how at the end they kind of work it into who's going to be the next villain in the next issue. It seems like they kind of work that in. I
don't know if they're doing that or if they're just kind of saying what they're going to do after this issue. I'm not sure if that's quite what they're going to do. And there's a chance. Who knows? I absolutely loved this book.
Best DC book I've read in a recent DC book I've read.
I would maybe be on the same page as you. Of course, I'm partial to the darker Batman. Right. And the Keaton Batman, or the 89 Burton one being my... As far as recent Batman books is gone, this has been the most enjoyable read for me. Keaton's playing around back there. He may pop up every once in a while. As far as this book goes, it's 100% a campy Batman. You're not going to see the dark, gloomy Batman that you're used to in the current books and things like that. This is a fun, campy, good time Batman going after the bad guys, just like the 60s show. And the thing I like it too. I think it's fun, especially for this is an all ages book, pretty much. Right. Anybody could, just like this series was. It was camp and fun for adults, but also an enjoyable Batman series for kids. But there's still Batman doing the detective thing and the action-adventure, fighting bad guys and all that stuff. Classic villains. I
like how the little yellow drawing stands for what will our heroes do next, the talking thing.
Exactly. I was just about to mention that. It reads like the show, where it would end in a cliffhanger, and then it would say, are our heroes in deep water, or something like that, and it would be find out. Well, there's two breaks like that in this. There's one, and then it's oh, what's going to happen? And then it leads right in, and then it happens again. And there's little, end things, just like there were in the series, where they're walking up the side of the building, and somebody pops out and looks at them and all that stuff. The coloring, I thought, was great. It made it really feel like a 60s type of book. There's a lot of dot matrixy type stuff. Hang on one second, let me finish up this coloring. There's a lot of dot matrixy type coloring, and sort of weird kind of edge lines sometimes. It's at first a little jarring, but then you think about, okay, this is supposed to be like the show. It's supposed to be, or like a book that came out in the 60s or something like that. And then it all adds up. And I think that the likenesses, for the most part, are fun. They're obviously comic book eyes likenesses. The only one I thought was a little off was Alfred. Other than that, I really liked the art. I liked the writing. I liked the coloring. This was a fun book. What were you going to say?
You know what thing I was trying to tell you in the car the other day when I first got the book? I said, can I tell you something about the thing? And you're like, oh no, let me read it.
Don't tell me anything? Well, as long as you're not telling who the second villain is.
No, I was going to say the thing where they were talking about...
Oh, between each episodes? Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. I can't get over how fun this book was. And what's really neat, too, is that they were able to do things in this book that they couldn't do on the show, like Riddler in a plane and Batman chasing him as he's flying through the air. That would have been impossible to do in a show, but you can do it in a comic, and Batman unfurling his wings, almost like the Keaton Batman and stuff like that, and gliding down on him. Great book. Great cover, great interiors. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Not such a great back cover.
Oh, that Beware the Batman. We're not going to talk about advertisements.
What again?
Oh, nothing, bud. The Batman. All three of us got the Batman 60s book, and all three of us liked it. All right, the next up. Ooh, this is a racy cover for kids. Shadow Year 1, Issue 4, with this beautiful Alex Ross cover. That's a lady not wearing a whole lot other than the Shadow's outfit draped around her. Avert your eyes. Okay, so in this issue, we're continuing the Shadow's kind of establishing himself as the Shadow in the Year 1. There's a whole bunch of mobster stuff going on where the different mobs are kind of infighting and things. There's a mysterious character in the background, Dr. Zorn, who's this kind of evil guy with kind of mental powers like the Shadow, it seems like. And we're seeing, the mobs interacting. Not a lot happened with the Shadow in this issue, other than the fact that it sees him kind of establishing his agents. And anybody that he saves, you don't have to keep looking the other way, anybody he saves becoming an agent of the Shadow. Like, he's saved their lives, and now they kind of owe him their life, and they join his war on crime. Both the guy at the beginning that's the insurance agent and Margot Lane, it's showing how they first become intertwined with each other. The Shadow goes and meets up with a mobster at some point. We get a little bit more Dr. Zorn character, and we get this investigator guy that's going after Lamont Cranston. Not a whole lot happens in this issue, other than, like establishing those agents. That's always fun. But this one didn't quite grab me as much as the other ones had.
Right.
It did, however, still, like I said with that last Shadow book, not the Year 1, but the other Shadow book, this still kind of really feels like the radio dramas. And it's feeling like both Matt Wagner and the writer of the Shadow book are trying to make it feel like the radio dramas, which I love. So that's that.
Do you think I'd be allowed to listen to the radio drama?
Oh, without a doubt. I didn't go out in alphabetical order. I messed up. Nova should have came before Shadow. What am I thinking? Nova issue 6 from the Marvel Now Nova series, showcasing the new Nova, Sam Alexander. This issue, it feels weird when you jump right in, because it's taking place after both that last issue, where he's kind of, coming to terms with being Nova, and he had the big fight, and then he's kind of interacting with his mom a little bit. But I guess something happened in Avengers, after he stopped that whole Chitauri group. I guess there was an Avengers issue where Nova interacted with the Avengers, because when we jump in, he's coming back with an adventure from the Avengers or something, and his mom knows he's Nova. He has kind of a heart-to-heart with her about being Nova and what he should or shouldn't do. He goes to school and has an interaction with kids and his principal, comes back, has another talk with his mom where she's teaching him the responsibility of he has to make his own choices, and she's not going to stop him from being Nova. And that's pretty much all that happens in the issue. There's not a lot of action, there's not a lot of fighting, it's more just like character development.
Was it still a good issue?
It was still good. The art was not as good as usual because it's not Ed McGuinness. It's Paco Medina or something like that this time around. And the writer is not Jeff Loeb, it's Zeb Wells. So this felt like a filler issue.
We've both given up Avengers, so we wouldn't know what
I wouldn't know. And it would have been nice had they said in the beginning, this story takes place after Avengers such and such. That's really annoying. When they're going to talk about something in the beginning of the issue, but they don't tell you where it came from. Because I started thinking, did I miss a Nova issue where he crossed over the Avengers? And I went back and I didn't miss a Nova issue. So I was like, wow, that's really not cool. I wish you would just tell me what to look for.
Because I'm not reading the Avengers book.
I'm not reading more Avengers books.
No.
Those can go away. Until the writer changes. This is a skippable issue, for sure. Because, like I said, the art team is different, the writing team is different. I hope Jeff Loeb's back after this issue. But I kind of feel like you don't even have to read this issue. We'll find out next issue if you didn't even need it. So that was that one. Thor God Bomb Part 4, Thor issue 10 from Marvel Now.
Didn't you say you wish God Bomb would kind of be...
I kind of wish it was over. I did enjoy this one, though. There's a good amount where he's split the three Thors off into different places. We've got a little interaction between Gore and his... I think his name was Gore, right?
Who?
The God Killer. Gore and his wife and his son. And his son kind of maybe turning on the dad a little bit. And maybe possibly helping the Thors. So we get some good moments of the three different Thors and their different entrapments, and then them coming back, and it's time for kind of the big battle, them versus the God Bomb type thing. It still says to be continued at the back and not to be concluded, so it's possible that this may go for 12 issues. That's getting to be kind of long. I did enjoy this one more than the last one, though, and you can never complain about the Esad Rivet card.
This is going to be if they make a trade, they could make a huge trade out of this.
Yeah, I have a feeling it will be a trade eventually. It's a great Thor story. I'm not saying it's bad in any way, shape, or form. And it's kind of cool to see this story happening right now, because I have a feeling that, like, say, 10 years from now or whatever, when you go back and you look at kind of Thor trades that people put on their must-read list, this will be on it. I have a good feeling that that's going to be on it.
I'll kind of have to wait till I'm older.
Yeah, I think some of it, you got a little bit too much for your age group towards the end, yeah. But I'm still reading it, and I'll have them for whenever you want to read it the rest of the way. You had one other thing that you got this week, and I didn't read.
I have I have to look at the title.
It's called the Marvel Superheroes Magazine, issue 10.
This is...
Hey, wait 1 second. I'm sorry. Blaze and Keaton get this all the time. We've talked about it in other episodes, but if you haven't seen this is a great magazine and book for kids. It has a lot of like activity things in here, and kind of like little games and cards and poster things, and there's a comic inside. So we like to get this each time for Blaze and Keaton.
Most of the time, I end up loving the comic because this new Avengers Assemble cartoon,
This one, the one you've got.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the Avengers Assemble cartoon.
You have it.
I wasn't like I said.
It's upstairs. Sorry.
Yeah, but the Avengers Assemble cartoon didn't really appeal too much to me, so...
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the Avengers Assemble. I'm very disappointed Earth's Mightiest Heroes is over. And something else I want to throw in real quick. I'm not meaning to talk over you. The Earth's Mightiest Heroes comic, we were both disappointed because they've gone from being regular issues to just being screen captures from the cartoon with word bubbles added on. You know, remember that? Remember I looked at that last Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it was all just like shots from the actual cartoon that they added word bubbles to, and it's no longer original stories? That was so super disappointing. Okay, so you were saying, go ahead.
So, the thing I like about this is continuing Earth's Mightiest Heroes, this comic is.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that, because I can kind of tell by the same animation.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely tell that's a continuation of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So what happens in the actual comic part of this?
There's this thing where Magneto's, like, just starting, like, he's, like, trying to take over the world, and this is kind of the storyline of, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, their origins of becoming good guys.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool...
Yeah.
And those are two characters that didn't show up in Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Right. Well, Scarlet Witch did.
Did she in Earth's Mightiest Heroes? I don't remember her showing up in that.
She showed up in it.
Oh, I totally forgot that one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So she, so they were there, and they were all kind of, like, destroying the city before the Avengers came. Not Hulk. Thor, Iron Man, Cap, and Wasp. The thing I didn't like about this is Magneto could use Thor's hammer against him.
I don't like that either. We talked about this in the car. I agree that Magneto can control, Cap's shield, Wolverine's adamantium, Iron Man's armor, unless he has some kind of special armor, Colossus. But Thor's hammer is enchanted. It's just not regular old metal. I don't think he could use his powers to pick it up, because it's magic versus a mutant power. We should ask what people out there think. Leave a comment. What do you think? Can Magneto use his powers to pick up Thor's hammer? I'm going to say that he shouldn't be able to. If it's happened, and it obviously has happened in this, it shouldn't happen.
Right.
All right.
What I was going to say was, he kept saying, I can use your hammer against you during the issue. Like, Thor kept trying to attack him, and he's like, I can use your hammer against you. So that's why I'm kind of glad this wasn't used in an episode, because they didn't have a bad episode in that cartoon.
No doubt. That cartoon was great. Now that you mentioned it, I do remember Scarlet Witch being on there. So overall, though, you liked it. It was a good, fun story. And as always, these extra little features and stuff like that are a ton of fun. You haven't had a chance to do a lot of these. You just basically read the book. But it's always a lot of fun to have one of these, maybe just in the car or something like that for a car ride for the kids. And they're only, what is it? They're only $5. That's better than buying a video game.
I think I have 9 of the issues.
I think so too. I think you
got the first one. I didn't.
That's right.
You got me a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and you weren't sure if and you saw Keaton's, you're like, I want to start getting this too. So I get 2 every time.
Right.
All right, so that is it. Without a doubt, as much as I love The Shadow usually, without a doubt, that's my pick of the week.
Same here.
Love this book. Even if you don't like the campy 60s Batman, it's just kind of fun to read a fun Batman comic again. So that wraps that up. And we're going to say goodbye and do some toy reviews.
Bye.
So we'll see you guys next time.